And welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games, comic books. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. Superhero summer is well in effect, and I don't know about you, but it's getting hot out here. We got so much heat coming. You would think that it's Florida in summertime, which is where I happen to be, and it is hot as crap here, man. Did I say crap? Hot as shit here, man. But we're the superhero summer is gonna heat up because we got My Adventures with Superman is premiering this weekend. Then it's just gonna roll downhill from there. We got Batman Cape Crusader coming. X-Men 92 season 2 is coming. Supergirl, we're gearing up for actually Supergirl is in a couple. Am I wrong? Is in a
think
couple
it's
weeks?
in June. It's
It's a couple
it's
weeks
like
from now.
around June 22nd or
It's a
something.
couple weeks from now. I don't know about you. I secured my ticket. So
No,
this
I haven't yet.
so we got Supergirl. Also, Brand New Day is coming. Like superhero summer is, it's gonna be crazy. So before we talk about all that good stuff, we know we got to do. We got to say what's up to our resident Reed Richards truther. I would say an acolyte of Doctor Doom, and and also an all around cool blurred as of course our friend Polly. Polly, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Surprisingly well, considering the weather is crazy hot, but like we had a crazy thunderstorm yesterday. It was lightnings flashing. It was like Storm and Thor were fighting. I don't know. It was insane. Scary even. Well, I was genuinely scared, and I'm not afraid of thunder or lightning. So you make make of it what you will. Other than that, what have I been doing that's nerdy? I have no idea. My brain is still in work mode. But no, I actually played some Marvel Rivals as always. Read some comics, some really good comics by the way, which is a joy. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. I watched some movies. I finished watching Superstore, by the way, and
Nice.
it's funny. Like it's actually a little bit spooky because my sister she wrote to me like yesterday or the day before, and she was like, "Have you watched Superstore? It's such a funny show." And I'm like, "What?" How is that possible? I just literally started watching it and I finished it, by the way. So yeah, and this was fun. I watched The Parent Trap yesterday for some reason. I just felt, the craving for an old movie, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Nice. Well, at least you've done more, way more than I have. I
No,
don't.
I have not.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the only nerdy thing I can really call out is that I rewatched Wreck It Ralph. My daughter really wanted to watch it, so we rewatched it. Uh, it's great. I mean, it was great when I first watched it. Upon rewatch, it holds up magnificently. What a great movie! And also, I'm Gen X, elder millennial, whatever. So it also, really kind of like speaks to me because of all the video game references. So that was fun. Beyond that, I really this week I hadn't done too much of anything. I work a lot, and also when I'm not working, I tend to garden. So I was I was doing a lot of that. But I'm this weekend. This week I'm trying to get some stuff done. Watch a few cool movies. I did not see Master of the Universe yet. That my intention is to do that tomorrow if I can help it. And also, I'm going to see Disclosure Day tonight. So I'll report back about that next week. But that's Steven Spielberg's new movie. It's about aliens, and so I mean, say less. You don't have to work too hard to get me into a theater to see such a thing. So, not like I said, not much in the way of nerdy stuff. Didn't even nerd on a budget. None of that stuff. It's just been a work week for me. So that being said, with all of our nerdy stuff out of the way, you know what we got to do? We got to talk about. Oh, of course, I hit the wrong button. Polly has issues, which of course it's our it's our our thing where we talk about, or at least Polly talks about the comics she's been reading, because she reads tons of comics, way more than I do, and she's going to tell us about the things she's been reading this week. So Polly, let us know what have you been reading.
So yeah, I'm still on that Black Panther read through, which is I really enjoy it. It's so much. It's so many good stories. I'm not even surprised because well, that's expected, but it's just a joy. So the first thing I read was Claws of the Panther, and this is a story about Shuri, of course, right after Doom War, and she's kind of dealing with the old family enemy, inheriting the same rivalry with him that Black Panther T'Challa had. So yeah, she's hunting down Claw. He's trying to like control the world again with his sound waves and stuff like that. But the story is actually more specifically about Shuri because she is exploring her rage and her reaction to things like from the murder of her father to having to deal with Doom and to having to um, abandon like all vibranium, render it inactive and inert. So yeah, the country is really in a weird position, and she's going on this journey to kind of find herself and learn to deal with her desire to kill, which I mean is fair, and we've seen that in the movie because it's kind of like these ideas I think were borrowed for Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, so it's kind of the same character in many ways. And
Mm-hmm.
she does really feel more like the Shuri that we know from Black Panther movies because she's a little bit more teenager like, and she's not a serious person. Like she's not. She doesn't have it all together. She doesn't know what how to approach certain things. She has this um, technical elements that she works with. She has her flea, her man in the on the orbit who helps her like crack things and break into things. But still, she does not specifically know what kind of panther she is gonna be. So that's where she explores that, and she has series of team ups. And I've noticed like this is a very common way to deal with minions about certain characters. You throw them into team ups, and one by one, different characters bring something to them and help them discover themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly like that. She teams up with Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Black Widow, and they all teach her something about her rage and about her desire and her urge to kill, for revenge, her about mercy and stuff like that. This is a really good run, but I can't say that it's great because to me at this point Claw is not such an interesting villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean his stories are kind of very repetitive. His grudge is still really old, and I don't know, just let him go at this point. No reason to keep him around and to
Are you
keep
saying
bringing him back.
Are you saying Claw is kind of like a DEI, um, a DEI villain?
Yeah. Too woke, too woke. No, but seriously, like he's probably a little bit not an outdated, but overplayed,
Yeah.
maybe. Like like a toy you've been playing
It,
with
I
for
feel
too
like
long.
I feel like Claw is. they want him to be the Doctor Doom to T'Challa or the Black Panther's Reed Richards, and he's nowhere near good enough
No.
or
I
interesting enough. He's
mean,
a one
Doom is
trick
a
pony.
better villain.
Yeah,
If you want Doom,
yeah
just bring Doom.
Claw's a one trick pony. Uh,
Hmm.
he's like, oh, I got sound, you got vibranium, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't have anything else. you just
Yeah, I
you got
mean,
all you got is
they
you got racism, and that's about it. Like, we can get that anywhere. Racism's easy to come by. You don't have genius.
yeah.
I mean, you would think he would have genius because he created the sound thing, but that was his one thing. He's not good at anything else.
Yeah, and once they discovered how to defeat that, that's it.
Then he's just a he's
Nobody needs
yeah.
to be dealing with Claw anymore.
Then he's just a white
You've
guy. He's just a white guy with entitlement. So we got plenty of
Yeah.
those.
They have Killmonger, and he's much more, you know, inventive, I'd say. But like his demands are still the same too. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that like different maybe bring in some new villains every once in a while, because it's very interesting when they're relevant and when they bring something new and they force the character to actually grow and to develop some new things and some new qualities.
right.
Well, speaking of that, Black Panther Man Without Fear is exactly that. It is Black Panther, but without his riches and without his title of king, without his diplomatic immunity, and he's living in the streets of New York, and he's just a simple vigilante at this point. But what happened as we know of Shadowland, and Shadowland was this really big story in which Daredevil got possessed by God, by the beast, the hand and stuff, stuff like that. Whole Daredevil drama, you know. It's always something with him. But that all got taken down, and he went on his self-discovery journey, and he left Hell's Kitchen in the hands of T'Challa, because T'Challa, just at that convenient time, T'Challa needed to rediscover himself and find out what he's made of, because he's not the king anymore, and he's still married though, but he's like, I need to do this alone. And Aurora is like, is like, yeah, okay, you sure though? Because she knows he can't handle it, and he really can't handle it because he's fucking up left and right, and he's not great at being a vigilante. But the story is really interesting because he's not great, because he's trying this out, because he's trying what works and what doesn't, and a lot of things don't work like he expects them to. But he, of course, he inherits everything that Daredevil has, like ridiculous villains, crime bosses, crime lords, and street crime, creepy stories, and social worker, serial killer. That's a lot of cool concepts. I'm really loving it, really enjoying it, and it does put him in a position where he really can see what he's made of, like I said before, and he has to deal with like Luke Cage coming to him and telling him, you know what, I see that you are not doing so well. Let us help you. And T'Challa is like, no, I need to do this alone. And then Storm shows up and reminds him that, like, you literally were about to die. And he's like, no, actually, I need to do it alone. Well, it's a stubborn man. But the story, like I said, the story is really great. It's very enjoyable, and the style, it's still Daredevil style. It's what I love about Daredevil comics, but with Black Panther as the lead, I think that it's really an interesting take. Does remind me a little bit of Moon Knight by Jed McKay, which is also a run I love, because he
Hmm.
has this crowd of people that he kind of like taken under his wing. And yeah, so far it's great. And that's what I've been
Nice,
reading.
awesome. Uh, well, I also wanted us to to sort of talk about our Pride recommendations. Of course, it's Pride Month, so last week we recommended a couple things. This month I wanted to see what you would recommend people to read or watch or check out.
So, one of my favorite LGBTQ comic books, actually from Marvel, is Iceman by Sino Grace. And just before, before the we started recording, I was Googling it because I needed to refresh it because I remember that I really loved it. I remember that I really loved the covers by Kevin Wada. Great artist, by the way. Check him out. He's on Threads and on Instagram, and really nice too. But wonderful art. But I remember that I enjoyed it. I didn't remember what happened in the book at all, aside from like in general, Iceman navigating his sexuality and his relationships with his parents and his teammates and discovering who he is and trying to date. And Sina Grace, by the way, is a great writer who has some stories that are like slice of life, and this is he brings a bit of that into this run, and it works wonderfully because like that X-Men are at their best when there is like this slice of life element, and when there is drama and interpersonal relationships and the whole the whole thing, and he really does that. He really understands that. But I was trying to research and recover in my memories what this run is about, and I came across his post actually on Tumblr where he talked about the experience of working on this run, and he really enjoys this run. He himself defined it as a man learning to be a better ally in the war against hate. uh, and yeah, that's what it is about. But Tino Grace's experience while he was creating this book, unfortunately, was very unpleasant. If you're interested, Google it and read about it, because Marvel, like they, according to him, they did everything in their power to like not promote the book, to control and navigate like what he was talking about, and this is not cool at all. And that's, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, when in I think while writing that run, he came up with Shade character who's now goes under name Dark Veil. I think it was the first trans character
Mm-hmm.
for Marvel, and yeah, and they did not want to promote the character. They did not want to like not description biography. They were like, let the fans make of them what they will. And there were a lot of things like that. It kind of reminded me of what Bodemaya was talking about, like his experience working on X-Men 97. So yeah, it's not a nice story, it's not a good story, but it's a story that like really useful to read to understand like why these comics don't do as well as we want them to, and
Right.
why they get canceled.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's not always because they're not bought. It's a lot of times it's because they're not promoted. They're
Right.
not pushed the same way as like white led books.
Yeah. I mean, we sort of talked about that with DC So White
Yeah,
last
exactly. Yeah.
last week, and it's true for like queer characters in books too. Very very much so. So that sounds pretty cool. I remember there was a big kerfuffle about when
Oh yeah,
I
about
well
uh,
when Iceman came from the past
yes,
and then
yes.
met his future self had which had come out by at that point as as being gay.
No,
Or
no, no, no. He
no,
has
he
the
no, it was
adult
the one
one
no, the
hasn't.
one from the past. Did the one from the I can't
The
remember.
one
I
from the past didn't
eh,
come out until Jean made him come out.
yeah.
And then he came to the one from the future, and if I remember correctly, and like confronted him about that, and then the one from the future learned about it and was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
it
that
was.
made
I,
sense."
I forget. Like I get them mixed up because there's that whole little. It was an interesting. It was an interesting idea of having a time, a time displaced, original team and how they interact with their future selves and like I
Oh,
thought that was
I
very
do love those
interesting.
characters.
Yeah,
I do love those characters. That was like the only time that I was actually interested in reading about Jean Grey.
it was very. I think it's very interesting era and to make a character that was never gay in the past gay and then having to sort of have two versions of him sort of grapple with what that meant for the character was interesting. So, like sometimes Marvel accidentally does things on. This was not accidental on the part of the writers. The writers knew what they were doing, but Marvel they can get accidentally dragged into doing good things. So good to know. And I'm gonna say, so for mine, it's gonna be the Sandman Volume 5 by Neil Gaiman, um, and it's mainly because this is it's an arc in the comic that heavily features a trans woman, um, and not by the name of Wanda Man, and it came out in 1991. And if you go back and read this, I think you will find that it is hella progressive considering the time. Like people act like trans stuff is brand new. Like people act like trans things and whatever are brand like in especially in America, they're making it out like it's like just like all of a sudden people are suddenly deciding to be trans and there's like some agenda or whatever. But this, if you read this book, I remember reading it 5 or 6 years ago, and I was like, and not even reading it. I was listening to the Sandman audio book and getting to this one, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This book is hella. This book is like 30 years old, and it's like saying all the same. It's saying all the shit. And I understand Neil Gaiman is he's kind of like a persona non grata at the moment. That being said, this is a pretty good story, and it involves hell and like or demons, not hell. It involves demons, and Wanda's a major character in the story, and it's actually treats Wanda pretty well, even though characters within the story are like dead naming and not like not trying to like you know not trying to treat them or her correctly, that is. But there are other characters that are affirming and all that other stuff. It's like it's very interesting and very very good. The only problem I will say is with it is if you don't like the barrier gaze trope, this is not going to be one for you because there's very much buries its gaze. Um,
I don't think anybody likes that trope.
yeah, unfortunately it does conform to the barrier gaze trope, but again, it's actually very like forward thinking as far as a trans woman and accepting their new name and and kind of telling her story and all that stuff. I recommend it, because I think you can see that the whole uh the whole issue of trans people and acceptance and just trying to live their lives and everything like that. I think it's illustrated very well within this one. So you guys go ahead and check out these things. Check out Iceman and check out Sandman. I think it'd be worth your time. Um, so that being said, uh, we got small amount of news this week. It's an in between week. We don't have something to review, and it is not. We're waiting on things to happen. So we got a couple of pieces of news to talk about, or I guess news items. I guess you could say. I know we want. Let me see. Why am I having a hard time finding this? They're my show notes. Okay. We
Because
got
it's Thursday, I don't
yeah
know.
yeah. We got to talk about Cyclops joins the Marvel Rivals, and there's some leaks of potential characters that are coming to Marvel Rivals. Honestly, this is just an opportunity for Polly to rant. So we're gonna talk about that. Also, internet nerds are insufferable. Uh, there's a lot of talk about Supergirl, and most of it's stupid. But we're going to cover the stupidity from the usual suspects and what they have to say about Supergirl. Before that, though, I did want to have a discussion about why the ending of The Boys is sort of bothering me at weeks later. Something that's been sort of bubbling in my mind that's bothering me about the ending of The Boys, and I just wanted to get it off my chest. So, So we're gonna go ahead and jump into that. So let's do the discussion. This the one unsatisfying aspect of the boys finale that has been just working in my head, and I feel like no one's talking about it. And maybe I'm overthinking, y'all. Maybe I am. But I was just thinking about the ending of the show, and I thought, and remember at the end of the show, you got Huey. Everybody kind of go their own separately, right? Mother's Milk and Ryan. He's kind of adopted Ryan into his family. He's reunited with his wife. Oh, great, awesome, love that for him. Love that for Ryan. Um, Kimiko, she's going out and seeing the world. With I suppose the spirit of Frenchie in her heart. Awesome, love that for her. Um, what's her name? What was her name? The vice president, now the president. What? But she's Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, so she's going to jail. That's cool. Um, and then we see Huey and Starlight. They are, they're back. They're running an audio visual whatever store in New York or whatever, an AV store, and she's moonlighting as a superhero. Cool. Everything's great. The world's back to normal, right? And that's my fucking problem with this. That's maybe my problem with the show in general, but like, is that I have a bad feeling that the world of the boys is not going to change at all because there's not going to be a reckoning for what happened in that year, couple, however many years, maybe 1 or 2 years, where Homelander was basically running the world and had all of these bootlickers and people doing his bidding and had a police state essentially in the United States and I'm assuming elsewhere in the world that was rounding people up in the camps and all this, right? There's a whole apparatus, and they were explicitly trying to be like, this is like some, gulag shit. This is like Nazi shit. They were very explicitly making that parallel with the camps and all this stuff, and we hear it later on in the one of the later episodes that they not only rounded people up, they were executing people. They literally executed a bunch of celebrities. Uh, what they said, what was his name? Will Forte said that he informed on Bill Hader, and Bill Hader was executed, literally executed. And there were other people, celebrities mentioned that were executed. So if celebrities were executed, that means regular people were executed, right? And also, we saw in the episode where Starlight goes to her dad's house, the police were rounding people up, right? Just in the middle of the night, rounding people up and shipping them off. This is Nazi shit, right? So there's not, but throughout the show, we didn't see any real, besides them talking about it in the Starlighter camps or whatever, we didn't really see any indication that other people were living anything but normal lives, except, there was this jackbooted thugs and the fascist takeover. But otherwise, people were going to work and whatever. Everything looked relatively normal. But we get these indications that things weren't normal. There were heinous crimes committed, and uh, you know, at the end of all of this, they kill the figurehead. Maybe Ashley goes to prison, but there's no indication that I can see that there's a real reckoning for all the collaborators. In Nazi Germany, we know that once everything was all said and done, people went to fucking prison. They went to prison. They were hung, right? They did a hard. Germany did such a strong anti-Nazi reckoning that to this day, even though they try to, Nazis keep trying to show up in their society, they don't fucking make it. Now, this is in contrast to America after the Civil War. When the Civil War ended, Reconstruction happened. There was a lot of complaining and whatever. But what people don't know is how that the slave owners and everything, they got compensated by the U.S. government for the fact that their slaves were no longer there. There was a lot of belly aching by them. And so when a new president got elected that was more favorable to the South, Reconstruction ended. And the same people who rebelled against the United States and who conducted a war as rebels and as Confederates returned to power. And now we get the America we have now that never fucking reckoned with and never properly and very harshly dealt with the people who did the revolution in the first day, the rebellion in the first place, and so that it would be shut down for generations, that they never even, not even just think about it, they wouldn't even celebrate them, they wouldn't look at, there's no German that right now that says yay Nazis, that's my heritage, but there's plenty of white people in the South that feel that way about the Confederacy. So this is a long intro for me to say I think there, it seems to me, and I know this show is over, but they are continuing this universe in other spin-offs. It seems to me that, and I don't know if this was purposely by the writers, that the world of the boys is doing more of a Confederacy and less of a Nazi, reckoning. The reckoning is that even though there was terrible things done and whatever, by and large, the people who were collaborators, who went along with, who were the hands and the feet of this fascist regime, are either going to get off with a slap on the wrist or nothing at all, and they're going to continue on with their lives. And the world of the boys is not going to reckon with the fact that a good number of people were accomplices in Homelander's atrocities and and all that sort of thing. They're going to get off, and we're going to be in the same place as we were before, as opposed to them hanging a bunch. And I know execution terrible, but like making an example of so many of the people that were involved that no one will ever fucking think about doing it again. I I'm sorry. This was just like this has been percolating in my brain for like 3 weeks now, and I finally was just like, I've got to talk about this. So anyway, I thought you might have a unique perspective about this, considering your, where you grew up and what's going on there
Oh,
now.
wow. Uh, Everything's bad there, but in this particular case, I don't know. I mean, we did not see most of the things. Like we saw only snippets of lives of the characters that we know that we've been following this whole time. We haven't seen like everything. We didn't see what happened to all the all the people who participated in that system. Maybe there was something done. We just didn't see it because I understand why, like why they didn't. Not why they didn't focus on that, because they could have gotten some time to like show at least an overview of how the things progressed after that. But I do understand why they could have overlooked that, because they were trying to tie up the stories of the characters that we do know and explain like every little step that follows. There is a lot to do. This world is not going to be okay. It's not going to be okay because it still has a lot of superheroes, a lot of superpowered people. You can't control
Mm-hmm.
them all. You can't navigate like them all in their daily life. And besides, we've seen what happened with Wood and like how they're trying to mm, redo their image again and like pretend that well, just like you guys, we were shocked and stuff. uh this is I mean, this is realistic though. Whether it's a good ending or not, and whether it's an ending that we wanted or not, if they want to open the conversation about how this is not a resolution and how this does not fix things or close the issue, they could very well do that. And I think like we still gonna like, weren't they gonna make the boys Mexico, something like
Yeah, they're
that?
still
So
working on
would
that.
that be in the aftermath? And if this is in the aftermath, this could show like the ways that this whole situation affected the world in general, not just America. So that would be interesting to see. And I don't think that it's a problem that the ending was like that. I do think that there is something there to consider and to think about. But I think that the problem is that those people who didn't understand that they were the butt of the joke in this particular
Mm.
scenario, and they would not think that something is wrong. They would not think that this resolution is not final. They would not understand that.
Yeah.
Making
I,
it way too obvious, though. I think that it was obvious enough when we saw what happened with Wood.
well, what we saw Ashley being a fall guy, but we also saw Stan Edgar returning to like
Hmm.
Bob Iger coming back to run the company, and he's saying all these things, and I'm like, this sounds to me like y'all aren't gonna properly deal with these. Y'all aren't going to like, because again, as I said, they executed people.
Yeah.
I think that we cannot underscore that too much. It's not like, at the, I like to say, like, when the whole Trump regime is gone, there needs to be a reckoning and people need to go to prison. I don't think anybody needs to be hung for it, but some people do need to be go to prison. But that is, we're not in a place where people are being lined up and shot in the as a fire with firing squads or hung or
Yet.
anything like that. We're not in that spot, and I'm just like,
Yet.
yeah, well, I'm saying yet, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if that was what was going on, where's the, not just the justice, but where's the insurance that this shit isn't going to happen again? And maybe it's probably for the best narratively that they didn't go too far into it, um, because it leaves some ambiguity. But also, I think maybe it could be purposely to say, no, they're not going to properly deal with it. They're going to let this fester. They're going to, because I think when I say let it fester, that's what happened in the South in America for decades, for many, for over 100 years after the Reconstruction was over, where the people who lost got to return the power and run things, and they sort of retold their own myth and tried to rewrite history and all that other stuff, and it's come back to bite us in the ass. And and mind you, they ran people out, people that were from the north. They ran people out of town violently. They hung people, black people who wanted to actually act like they were free, the too free. They would hang them. And these are your neighbors, mind you. These are people that you live down the street from. And in the world of the boys, people were informing on each other. Neighbors were turning each other in. They were, ransacking their houses. They were doing, so you live next door to these people. You work with these people. It's I mean, right nowadays, I'm sure I work with a MAGA person here or there. But if MAGA were like Homelander people and that's what was going on here, there's no fucking way I couldn't even work. I couldn't work with these people. I couldn't live next to them, because I knew they explicitly wanted me dead. And that's why I'm trying to figure out, like, how's everything just going back to normal? Like, we're just living normal lives as if the person on the street for me didn't have a red hat on, and that red hat meant I want you dead. That's like, they papered over that in this finale, and that's why it's kind of unsatisfying to me. Like, I like the finale a lot, but that's one part that, like, I know I'm unsatisfied with it because there's just not enough meat on that particular bone. And this is a major, like, this is something I consider to be a major aspect. Y'all played it up throughout the series that this shit was going on, but there's no resolution and there's no real hint. The only hint we got that the country was trying to do anything about it was that they wanted to set up to, they wanted Huey to come in and lead basically a government sanctioned boys to go keep the soups in line. Who gives a fuck about that? I want to know what y'all did about all of the people on the street who were sending other Americans off to be executed. That's it. Like, and maybe I'm thinking too hard about this, but it, to me, you put these things up and then you kind of leave them not just ambiguous, completely unresolved. It's just a bit unsatisfying to me. That's all. Anyway, I just wanted to get that on my chest. Thank y'all for listening. This has been my TED talk. Anyway, let's get on to the news, which is this is the Marvel Rivals hour where we're gonna talk about what's going on with our favorite what do you call it? Squad based shooter? I don't remember what this
Hero
called.
shooter.
Hero shooter, that thingy. Cyclops is in. What is he? Is he a duelist? Is that right?
He's a duelist, yes. He's a DPS character. I
And
mean, he's not out yet. I think he's gonna be out tomorrow. That's when the update comes in, and everybody's gonna install him, and everybody's gonna play him. And again, the healers are gonna be screwed, probably, very likely.
I saw some
Um,
some gameplay of him. He's doing the thing with using his blast to move around
yeah.
erratically, which I'm sure y'all will love. I'm sure everyone will love dealing with that. Um, Beyond that, look, I don't know. I don't understand enough about Marvel Rivals to know why he's going to be a problem. So, Polly, why is he going to be a problem?
He's gonna be a problem probably because he's like Moon Knight, and in a lot of ways, his gameplay reminds people of Moon Knight because he can mm, ricochet and hit multiple targets. So if people are standing close together, that's gonna be a easy target for him. We don't know how much, like I personally don't know how much damage he does, but like it's not gonna be easy to not defeat him. But for a few days, it's gonna be really hard to survive as a healer because this characters always attack healers first, of course. So yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. Uh, but you know what? He looks cool, and it's fun to see another X-Men character, one of the main four X-Men. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would be very excited if I didn't see the leaks for the following
We'll we'll
characters
we'll,
next
we'll, get,
season.
we'll get to we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I want to ask another one question. Do they have custom interactions between characters, like certain
Yes, they
characters?
do. They
So,
do have custom voice line between characters, between of course, yeah, everyone wants to hear what he's gonna talk about with Emma and with Jean.
and
Well,
with
not me with
Wolverine,
Jean,
that's
like
what
I don't
I
care.
really want to know with Wolverine.
Yeah, probably something generic. I mean, it's still Marvel Rivals, you know. Uh, but yeah, I've seen some, I think some voice lines with Emma that were a little bit kinky, and that's fine by me
Nice.
because you know I do ship Scott with Emma. I know he like, in my opinion, she can do way better than Scott Summers. He can do better than
He'll
Emma Frost,
know.
and
uh,
I don't even try to come at me with Jean. I don't buy that nonsense. Jean
do,
should be dead.
do they have also custom kind of like what do you call it? Like a team up deal.
Yes,
I know that
they change from season to season, but they do have custom team up abilities, different for different characters. And this probably gonna be like some triangle based nonsense team up between Scott and Jean and Wolverine. I'm not sure if they're gonna address like Scott and Emma. It would be fun if they did, but you know, you I don't know if you know, but they did have like, what was it called? Explosive entanglement or something. This was a team up. It is still a team up, and I think that it's going away next season
mhm.
between Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit.
Nice.
So yeah, they do like to play up this superhero drama, and they do it well.
I think I kind of love the idea that the developers are like they're like they're deep enough into the comics that where they're like there's an aspect that if we put this little extra bit in there, the people who know will be like super happy about it. They'll be like, "This is my shit." Like you guys are really
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah, they do play it up a lot of times. Like they have interactions between uh, Black Widow and Bucky. They do have interactions between Emma and Namor. Namor and Sue, of course.
Hmm.
Like uh, Black Panther and Storm. Uh, but like not that. Nothing that specific between Black Panther and Storm, as far as I remember. But yeah, they do have.
That's really cool. Well, that I mean, Cyclops looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm
He
semi
does.
I'm semi interested in
You should
getting
finally.
into the
Yeah,
game. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see. Let's not put too many hopes in the minds of people who are going to get free kills off of me. So uh that said, this is the ranting portion of this particular topic, because we also saw potential leaks of characters, or leaks of potential characters in the upcoming was it next season, which is season 9, right?
It was next season, season 9 and
Yeah.
season 10, and even like something for season
Yeah,
11.
I didn't see all of them. I just saw the one. The one only one that stood out to me was that potentially Jubilee would be the next. What was it, Jubilee, and what was the other person?
The next season, for now, they talking about like this that there are references in this half of the season that's gonna start tomorrow. There are references to the fact that the Hood and Jubilee will
Oh
be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
next
Hood and
characters,
Jubilee.
and yeah, the Hood was we saw like his red hood in not hood, the cloak that he wears. We saw it in, I think, like in on one of the maps. Mm, and you know what? But the season after that, they're promising that it would be a Nightcrawler and somebody else. Unfortunately, I don't remember who exactly, but like some other character that is white. And then after that, oh, I think that like after that there was Doom, which technically would be great, but I don't think it's true. And there was another leak that one of the next characters would be Crescent Moon, which is, if you haven't heard of this character, don't be surprised, because it's another character like Luna Snow designed specifically for a game.
Right.
I don't even remember if this character
Uh,
showed up in the comics, but it is a kid though, and
right.
it's an Asian kid. And if they find a way to put this character in the game, and avoid all the issues that they were so loud about with Lunella, but they work day and
Yeah.
night to find a way to put this character and make it playable. I don't know.
So okay.
I have a big problem with that.
So I'm looking at a post on Threads that's talking about the leaks. Um.
Mm.
So I'm gonna. Yeah. It's Hood and Jubilee. Uh, then Nightcrawler and Gore, um,
Yeah,
and
Gore.
then
Mm.
Doom, uh, and then I don't. It does show a character that does look like a kid character, but
It
like
is, yeah,
there's
Crescent
like a
Moon. Yeah.
bear, there's like a
Let's see.
bear or something,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
what, and then Blue Marvel. So um, yeah, okay. So this is your ranting space, and I think
I have never heard any mentions of like putting Blue Marvel in the game. I think that it is either a
it's
very like last minute throw in, because people are not happy. And I don't know how many people, but like I see more and more people post about it. Uh, or like it's just, to quiet people down or something like that. I have never
right.
seen or heard anything about like this character
Yeah.
being added into the game before, but I do remind everyone that like it's season 8.5 already, and we're getting closer to season 2, and Storm is still the only black woman on the roster,
Right.
the only one. Meanwhile, they have like, I don't know, somebody counted, they have like 6 Asian women, they have like 11 white women. Uh, there's like a lot of everyone, and we still can't get another black woman, and we can't get Latina woman, brown women. Like that is a problem for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's fine. I think that it's like a very continuous ongoing issue, and as we see, they finding creative ways to avoid adding more.
Yeah. It's actually the
I
one.
see a problem. I don't want to pretend to to ignore it and pretend that there is an explanation for every time that they avoid doing it. I just see what I see, and I don't think it's okay.
Yeah. It. I like. I saw. I saw the what was it, Jubilee, and I was like, so y'all gonna put, and I get people love Jubilee, I get it, but y'all gonna put Jubilee in, and there's, Monica Rambeau exists. She's a grown up. She got badass powers actually, right? Um, Misty Knight exists, right?
Cecilia Reyes exists because
Luna
she
Snow,
would be a
yeah.
great strategist.
I just want to note, Luna Snow is not in the fucking comics. It wasn't until this game, right? Doesn't
Before
exist.
that, she showed up before that, but she was originally a game
Yeah.
character.
So
She
so I'm
was
like,
never a comic book
I just want to
character.
note within the comics, I just hell, Monica Monet St. Croix exists, right? Monet exists, and she's dope as fuck too. But incidentally, right? Didn't they add Shuri, but like she's just she's
Yeah,
just
she's
covered
not
up.
playable.
She,
And
she
there is no excuse, like they have no excuse to uh, or explanation for why she's not in the game.
I
She doesn't necessarily have to have gameplay like Black Panther because she can be like any. She can be a strategist again. She can use gadgets. She can do whatever.
right.
Use those that same creativity you use when you turn like other characters, change their class and do whatever. Uh, Bring her into a game. When you're not doing it, and when you have already three NPC characters that are black. Yeah, it's Shuri, it's Lunella, it's Spider Zero.
Yeah. I mean,
There is a problem.
I mean, I'm just saying, there are many. I mean, there's more than enough black women characters that could, that you could put in there. And there's no reason not to. The Moon Girl thing is particularly egregious because as people noted, there's a grown up version of her. I even said that when you were talking about it before,
Yeah.
when Devil was
And again, they keep whenever it suits them, they keep pulling like random characters from random timelines and aging them up,
yeah,
making them younger, doing
yeah,
whatever, rewriting the whole history. Uh, Daredevil, for instance, he is not like the Daredevil that we know. Uh, there is like
somehow,
Penny
yeah,
Parker, of course, and there are a lot of characters that you changed to suit the game. You picked the version of Psylocke that is from a limited run miniseries and not from the original timeline. I
yeah,
don't know. That seems like a choice. That seems like a conscious choice, and I don't know. Like I feel it's that if this is confirmed, if this is what they want to do, then I'm gonna like stay away from this game till the moment that they decide that it's time to bring another black female character. I might if I show up, I'm not gonna pay them any money until they do because like
yeah. It's
I just don't see the reason.
it's just like it's really weird. Like again, I like Jubilee, but like, is she really the one? To me, is she the one
I
to
don't
put in?
mind Jubilee, but like
And
if you
beyond
want
that,
to,
yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say the other character who does not fucking exist in the comics or anywhere else. And now that I saw like the little bit of art, I'm like, so this is a kid character. So all that shit about not putting Moon Girl in was bullshit. Like, y'all ain't look. What's the name? What's the name of the company? Is it NetEase or whatever? You motherfuckers are
Yeah.
y'all are never beating the accusations. You're never gonna beat the You're never gonna beat the
Just
allegations.
so we all on the same page, NetEase is not just a like indie game developer. It's a part of a bigger,
Yeah, yeah.
very huge actually
Are they part? They're
conglomerate.
not Netmarble, are they? Or they? Am I thinking of a different
No, they're
company?
not the
That's a different.
same
But
company.
I don't think so.
I don't
No.
know if they are from the same like parent company or something like that, but
But this is, and people will be like, y'all are making too much out of this. This is ridiculous. There's no reason for y'all
no.
to. No, I'm not. We're not making too much out of it. For the same reason that I don't think that the DC So White campaign is not making too much of a big deal out
But
of it.
in case of DC, I do not directly support them with my money. I buy comic trade paperbacks or like mm, hardcovers later, not upon release, I don't affect those sales that interest them. But in when it comes to NetEase and when it comes to Marvel Rivals, I do directly affect like the sales. I buy battle passes, I buy costumes, I try to I really invest my money and my time into this game. And I know that like one person may not make a difference, but like if that's their choice, that's my choice.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like people should join me and black them out, but if you're gonna do that, I'm not gonna stand in your way.
Yeah. No, I think that, I mean, I have no effect on it, but it's I think it's pretty clear that, I mean, there's an agenda going on. Like, you don't, if you don't think that's true, I think that's willful.
Then you're probably white.
Or you're being willfully ignorant about what's going on. Because, like I said, if that other new character, the little girl character gets in, yeah, there's no reason to play Marvel Rivals, because you're just rewarding them for lying. It's essentially lying. Because if yeah, I would respect it more if they were like, look, our core audience, they don't like seeing black people, so we're trying to get money. If that's what you said, I wouldn't play your game, but at least I'd respect the honesty. But sitting up here trying to pretend like this is a artistic, you're making artistic decisions or whatever, or you have some kind of limitation that's keeping you from doing. The limitation is you don't want to see black people win. That's it. And be
I'm
honest to
honestly
me.
honestly
Yeah, be honest.
surprised that Marvel has no effect on it. Because
I mean, they probably have very little editorial control.
yeah,
Even if they did, I wouldn't trust Marvel to actually be good about it either.
I
They're
would trust them more than I would trust NetEase because like I see what they're doing.
Yeah, they're and I have to say that without people actually making money, taking their money and their time elsewhere, they're not. Nettie's going to keep doing what they're doing. That this Marvel Rivals is pretty popular, so I don't think that this, without a change in consumer habits, I don't see this actually changing what they do. And all, we can talk about what they should do, and how they should add more that black women into it, and more black people and more people of color. But if people keep playing the game, they have no incentive to change. So, I do want to keep talking about and highlighting it though, and trying to call them out for it. Maybe they'll actually get better, but I'm not holding my breath. I'll say, and I probably would be part of the problem if I started playing Marvel Rivals right now too.
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
play
know,
some.
as long as you
Yeah,
don't have to pay the money.
I don't. And even just
It's
being,
really hard to keep the game going if people are not paying you.
if they're just playing for free, but they can be like,
Yeah,
look at all these people that's playing.
that
You
are
know
not
what?
paying.
I'm gonna go play Invincible Versus or something, or wait for the Avatar Legends game, which is coming out soon. So anyway, I guess we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll come back to this, and they won't get better, but we can hope, right? And we'll talk about all that then. That takes us to the Chuds are being super normal about Supergirl. Um,
Wow.
Super Supergirl is coming out soon, in a couple weeks. I have my ticket. I had to wait for the AMC website to get its shit together, but I did secure my ticket to a good showing in a good theater. Very excited for this. This possibly could be the last DC thing I go see in theater, because Paramount is doing its Paramounting. They're trying to Paramount Warner Brothers, and with the help of the U.S. government. Um, but until then, I'm gonna go see this. You don't see this, but the thumbnail has Dean Cain, the worst Superman, uh, and a picture of Amelia Alcock as Supergirl. And this is relevant because Dean Cain's a bitch. and he said some bitch ass shit. And I wanted to highlight that among the other things that's going on.
Wait, is this the one who was like training to work for ICE?
Yeah,
And there was
but
this ridiculous
yeah.
commercial promotional video.
Yes, it's
Boy,
the very same one.
that's some white power.
Well, this is Dean Cain, who is, he's, I think he's half Japanese, half white,
Yeah, but
but
I mean,
he's
he's obviously
he's claiming the white. He's
trying
claiming,
to be
yeah,
white.
yeah. He's claiming the white. But he's MAGA and all that. He's the worst super. Because remember he was talking shit about Superman last year. Really talking shit about Superman. Um, and so he basically liked some posts and reposts some stuff about Millie. Like he liked somebody because this ties back to the Chuds being super normal about this. The worst thing about white right wing uh superhero fans or whatever.
What a sleep.
Yeah, I mean Freudian slip. Oops, I said the shit. But the worst thing about them is uh well, there's many things. Well, one of the worst things about them is that they require they require that women in any of their media be something that they can goon to. That's gooning, of course, if you guys are young enough, you know what that means. That they can like, basically get off to. So every woman, no matter the context, has to be that. Which is funny because most of them are like, you know, well, I call them chuds for a reason. If you know what that means, if there's a movie about people who are basically troglodytes, Morlocks, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And if you're gonna need to have that explained to you, then my God, just use Google. God damn it, I don't have time to side street everything that I'm saying. But the point is that these guys who, you know, probably incels, no game, no personal body,
Maidenless behavior, like
yeah,
Blurred Without Fear
yeah.
says.
they they say no. I know people in line that's like no bitches is what they like to say, but I think that I like to be a little more explicit. No personal hygiene, no style, no prospects, no looks, gene pool very small for where they come from. That's all that stuff.
Probably inbred.
Yeah, I mean the family tree turns in on itself multiple times throughout. The branches are going in and out of the trunk. The point is the people with the least who have the should have the least to say about these things have the most to say about Millie Alcock's looks, which is hilarious to me. I mean, I think she's a pretty young lady. You know, I don't understand why they're calling her ugly, especially considering who's talking. Like, but this is something that's going on with chuds in general because they're doing the same bullshit for uh, God of War Luffy, right? Which Debran Wall is the voice actor and the body model, basically face and body model for the character. And God forbid they do some like more realistic rendering, like which by the way we just saw her in um, Daredevil Born Again. I mean, I don't know why anyone would think she's ugly, but like she is like 40, like she's like 42 or something like that. She's getting older, and the character Luffy is a Nordic, like she an ice giant, right? And
I don't
so
know.
in the God of War series, she's an ice giant. Um, that so she basically looks like a really tall white person that lives in the North, in the North, not North, the Norway, whatever the North. So she's not gonna
North
be.
Norway.
Yeah, I can't speak. She's lives in like the Norway or whatever the fuck, and it's a harsh and it's a harsh place, and she's a warrior and shit like that. She is not gonna look like a fucking runway model. even beautiful as she is, she's not going to look like put together like a runway model. But these idiots have been like conditioned by other dudes making these things that are there. It's all for the male gaze, and so you got, you know, women doing when a woman is presented as just being a realistic portrayal, they don't know what to do with it because their dick's not getting hard watching them slay dragons or whatever the fuck. It's it's weirdo behavior and it's loser behavior, and unfortunately,
If you God.
that's why I talk. Look, I'm so serious. Like women can't just be normal looking like that. I've seen like people being like, "This is why Western games are not as good as games that are made in Japan." I'm like, so in your mind, real you don't when you play a video game, a realistic portrayal is like that's a downside, but a female character looking like she, in a schoolgirl outfit, a okay, I guess.
Nah, you know what? This is why the only thing that's ever gonna like lie next to them in their bed is their anime body pillow.
Even the body pillow's
That's
trying to get
it.
away. The
Yeah.
body pillow's been trying.
They
It's just
cannot they shouldn't even like hope for the days when they have sex bots. Because as you see AI breaking up with them.
it's wild.
That happens a lot. That actually happens everywhere. Like these chats try to create AI girlfriends, and these AI girlfriends break up with them because they're pathetic and like they're stupid.
Yeah, it's
So when you are one of those people, like when your behavior reflects the behavior of these people, I mean, I would be worried. I would be thinking like, what's wrong with me? But I guess that's not the path or the journey. I don't know. There is no help there. I don't know how to help them. I just not engaging with them is enough for
yeah,
me. But like I see that they're trying to create a problem for everyone. But again, I remind you, and I posted about that, and I think it's still mm, what I think. But if this ugly basement dwellers uh, want to play. Like they don't want to play as a woman, they don't want to play as a realistic looking woman, they don't want to see like realistic women in games. Well, then maybe they should start trying to develop their own games and
yeah,
not ruin the game industry.
yeah. It's
And when they do that, because they obviously won't do that because they're like unable to come up with anything original or good or like even do anything. But if they ever try and like create these games and try to push them, we're gonna say that stop trying to ruin the game industry.
yeah.
We're gonna move the goalpost. It's reversed now. That's it. It's over. They lost.
I mean, that I guess it's you know it's similar around all nerd spaces where these guys are really vocal. I don't even want to necessarily say they're a minority. They're a small but vocal aspect of fandoms, of all fandoms. And so I'm not surprised that this, because I mean, Millie Alcock, I mean, she's a pretty girl. I'm sorry, not girl, young lady, because she's what's she 20 something, 24
I
5
don't
something
know.
like that. She's I mean she's a good looking young lady. I liked her in House of the Dragon and everything like that. Um, is she like oh Victoria's Secret model pretty? I mean maybe not, but she's definitely she's good looking enough that I think there's no reason to question whether or not she's pretty. And also
I
the
think
exact
Victoria's Secret model is a definition of a body shape rather than like facial features and prettiness or not,
well even their
the
fate, but
lack thereof.
they pick their
Because
models.
they, first
They
of
are
all, they,
models.
yeah, the goal of the model is to be a canvas that you
Yeah,
can make into something that would present the clothes or like
yeah.
lingerie or
But
something.
generally speaking, they're models, so they're going to be good looking. But the point I also to remember about the where there are examples of this she's in the middle of action. She's doing stuff where she's grimacing or like, she's putting in effort. Have you ever seen people when they're trying to lift something really hard? They're gonna make a face. They're not gonna. You're not. That's not the time when you're you're taking a selfie. So like it's weird to me that's. But this happened with Lupita and the whole
Helen of Troy.
the kerfuffle, if you will, about playing Helen, where they showed a picture of her. They showed a picture of Helen of Troy from the Troy movie, which I forget the name of the woman who played her, but she's in like she's in a throne room and she's like all dolled up or whatever, versus Lupita when she's playing a slave, like, and she's beaten down by life and everything like that. They want to so they want to pick a person when the picture is unflattering versus a very flattering picture of some of the alternative. And I think that's it's dishonest as shit. But of course, these guys are dishonest. They're the truth is they don't like that Supergirl is not she's not a character who has to bow down to male supremacy or to conform to what they consider to be a proper young lady or any of that shit. They don't. She doesn't have to. She's Supergirl. She can do what the fuck she wants. And
I mean,
also,
they had the same problem with Brie Larson,
yeah,
and that the problem I have, like, every time when they start this same shit, I have a big problem when people are trying to engage them with them and to explain like what they doing or like try to defend something. I don't think that we should be defending anything.
yeah.
I think that fuck off and block is the ideal response. And another funny part of this whole debacle is like the fact that some of them are bringing up CW show,
Hilarious. I
as
love
if
that.
they weren't cheating on this show left and right. And I
Yeah.
remember that like it was yesterday, because when it was coming out, when it was on TV, they hated this show
Mm-hmm.
so much with such passion. They consistently shit on the show, and they kept saying that it's garbage, that the actress is like ridiculous, that the show is stupid, it's badly written, and
Yep.
she's unlikable, stuff like that. And now she's suddenly the like goalpost or the ideal of what Supergirl is supposed to be.
Yeah. Because
No,
it's
no,
and
you can't play that. We're not buying that because, like,
yeah,
again,
it's and
over. It's
it
over and done.
and it's completely expected because they have no shame and no they have no shame. They have no qualms about that. It's all about taking any weapon you can and bludgeoning your opponent with it. That's all. So they have no sense of hypocrisy. You have to have shame to have a sense of hypocrisy. These guys, they're just trying to tear down this movie because Millie Alcock's not appropriately deferential to their bullshit. The same way and it's appropriate that you mention Brie Larson because I literally saw a post where someone was like, "It's gonna flop the same way that it's gonna flop the same way that the Marvels did." And they showed Brie Larson verse, and I'm like, you guys are y'all do the same shit all the time. It's like clockwork. If Millie Alcock was literally just Sydney Sweeney, if it's instead of her, it had been Sydney Sweeney in the place of Supergirl, they'd be falling over themselves talking about how great that this new Supergirl is going to be, and it's not because they
Well,
love
I
her.
have great news for them. There is a movie with her, a superhero movie with her. They should just watch the masterpiece of the 21st century. That is my favorite movie, personally, Madam Web. There you go. Have your favorite actress. Enjoy.
Oh my
Best
god,
movie
it's
ever.
crazy. But she like really, if Sydney Sweeney had been Supergirl, they'd be falling all over themselves, and it's not because Sydney Sweeney is beautiful and she's got big breasts or anything. That I mean, yeah, they'd want to goon to
No,
her,
I'm pretty sure
but
that's literally because of her
it would
breasts.
be because of that, but also because she's MAGA. and they'd be like, "Yay, finally." But the story wouldn't be any different. That's the thing. So, and also we have to consider that there's an aspect of this, which is that the Snyder stands take any opportunity to shit on the new DCU that they can. Again, they don't have any scruples. They don't have any shame. They'll use any weapon. They'll pick up any weapon they can to bash the new DCU. So this is a convenient one. Now, what does Dean Cain have to do with all of this? Well, he's just a fucking asshole. That's basically it. And so he gets on social media because, it's really important that we know what this has been with no fucking, future except in Daily Wire bullshit has to say about it. And um, and also this goes back to one of the things that was being talked about this week because these so-called fans are dumb. And somebody posted, they were like, "Oh, how can she have piercings if she has indestructible skin?" And I'm just like, you guys are dumb. Like, this isn't even a good criticism. If you understand what Clark said about her at the end of the fucking movie.
They
Said
don't.
she
They
likes to go.
don't bother explaining this to the people who
Yeah.
don't. I mean, if they don't, just let it go. At this point, you can't help them. It's they're lost to us.
This is see, that's the thing is these posts like these, if you approach it as if they are asking these things in good faith, you're gonna spin your wheels. Like, you're gonna waste time explaining things to them. They're not approaching this in good faith. Their objections have nothing to do with wanting to be edified. It has nothing. They don't want to be edified because if they wanted to, Google. Look. I don't love.
Yeah, they wouldn't embarrass themselves. Yeah. They would just Google it.
Yeah, generative AI. I don't love it, but the Google AI would just explain. Like, look. Actually, let's do a test here. I'm gonna ask Google right now. What? How is it possible for Supergirl to have piercings if her skin is indestructible? Indestructible. All right. Okay. I'm about to ask this right now. You see, I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna read what it says just to let you know that these motherfuckers they're not posting this shit in good faith. They could answer this question without us, right? They're being deliberately obtuse for engagement and for rage baiting. It has nothing to do with them. And then the people that don't jump in there and fucking argue with these people and try to explain to them. They have Google if they are a real person, if they're not a bot. And Dean Cain jumping in and being like, yeah, that's a good, being like, what is he reposted the post. It's not for good faith. Look, Google AI literally just answered to me. It said the red sun method. And James Gunn, by the way, said, oh, the same, she just goes to a place with a red sun, right? Also, she was raised powerless. Somebody noted, hey, she had piercings when she showed up on Earth. That apparently, they have a TV spot that shows, Clark finding her in a pod. She already had the piercings. So before she ever got powers, she got pierced. Like, these answers are fucking available. I know that because I'm looking at the Google AI right now that just answered the damn question. These guys they're not asking this shit in good faith. They're using any kind of weapon that they think they can form to bash this thing for ideological purposes. Either they're Snyder bros that fucking hate the DCU and they want to tear it down, or they don't like Millie because she's not appropriately deferential to their bullshit right-wing crap, or they just want to slam it because this is a thing featuring a strong, a powerful woman that's not conforming to their shit. So they want to tear down a woman that's not that's not the right kind of woman. It's none of it has anything to do with actually knowing what the fuck's going on. They're not real fans. They're they're anti woke, and anything that serves their anti wokeness, they're gonna go. They're gonna run with, no matter how stupid they look, because they don't care about looking stupid. They care about muddying the water and stirring shit and rage baiting. That's it. And
While you were Googling that, I decided to Google why CHUDs are so dumb. And Google AI, ironically, had an answer to that
wait,
too.
why who is so dumb?
Echo, why CHUDs are
Oh,
so
why
dumb.
judge are so dumb? Let's see.
Yeah,
What did Google say?
echo chambers and algorithmic sorting, performative outrage, media literacy deficits.
Yes.
There you go.
Google AI.
So
Hey,
Google
hey,
AI
based.
knows
Google AI is
it knows
based.
what they're up to. So if you're a Chad, it knows what you're up to. It knows about you.
You
It's
guys
coming
are
for you. It's
fucking
one day you
clowns.
will get a Google AI girlfriend and she will break up with you because you're a Chad.
But this because she's
So
been.
hold on to
Wait,
that smelly pillow.
wait. The AI girlfriend breaks up with them because they've been infected with the woke mind virus. Apparently.
She's like, I don't
uh,
want to catch it.
you guys are fucking clowns. And Dean Cain, you're the biggest clown. No one even thinks of you as a good.
The Rob Liefeld of
Yeah,
actors.
you're a fucking clown. Not only that, he also liked a post that compared, like, was trying to compare her to a picture of like some I forget I forget where this is from, but it was a picture of some like monkey looking boy or something like that. I forget the movie it was from, and he kind of like it says, why does she look like this guy? Oh, from Land of the Lost, there it was, and he said, dang it, I laughed. So this is what I'm talking about. If y'all
Yeah,
ever,
why does he look so pathetic on his
yeah,
promo video?
yeah, exactly, he's trash. But this
He's the one to talk.
the what and he's older, he's like 57 something like that, he's not in great shape,
I don't care.
but
Doesn't excuse him.
this is what, if you ever wonder, like, among the many reasons why I don't fuck with MAGA or the right wing bullshit, it's because that's what they got going for them. It's not just mean spirited. That's all they have is negativity and tearing people down, and just generally being assholes, right? They the truth is, the vast majority of them, they're not they're not sevens, sixes, or fives. They're fours out of tens, right? They're
The
losers and
twos,
fours.
like you know that
Just trash.
they
No,
views
yeah,
kind of like take the remaining points, so they're like zeros.
yeah. They're like they're not
It
desirable or
counts.
interesting. They're not. They're like, they get no. They get no women. They hate women, but they really want the attention of women. uh they don't get sex, they don't get, they're just mad about all of this stuff, and they're pathetic. They got no game, none of that shit. And the fucking gall, the nerve to be a two, talking about Millie Alcock's looks is hilarious. Like, you guys are, you're fucking clowns. Like, go work on yourselves before you start pointing the finger, or pointing
I
a
mean, if
finger.
they worked on themselves, they probably wouldn't have the need to point fingers and to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Millie Alcock's successful. She's a star. She's been a, people know her name. She's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. What the fuck have you done to sit up here and talk shit about her? Not a damn. And in fact,
Farted into water.
and I will say, I hope she shits talks y'all. I hope she does do the Brie Larson on you bitches, cuz, like, y'all deserve it. Y'all act, the way y'all act, you fucking deserve it. You deserve, and I hope y'all try to hate on her and and, y'all hate on her so bad that Supergirl's $1 billion. It won't be $1 billion movie, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I just I can't miss an opportunity to dunk on Chuds, and fuck Dean Cain, bitch ass. Anyway, that's all. That's all of our news. Oh my god. That's all our news for this week. This is a good time. I got to rant, you got to rant. We had a good time this week. And it was a
To
small
rant at
news
the
week.
end.
Yeah, it was a, you know, it got some stuff off my chest and I feel good about it. But maybe we missed something. um you know, you agreed with us, disagreed with us, wanted to say something nice, troll us. You
Be
wanted to
careful with that trolling part. You've heard
yeah,
us.
I mean, we will probably ignore it. Or maybe you wanted us to give us a dissertation on why Millie Alcock is, you know, her deficiencies that we also are going to ignore. Whatever the case may be, get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up. It's supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and all of the other things we do on Blurred Force One. And of course, I couldn't do this by myself. I mean, these rants are there. I can't rant about Marvel Rivals. I'm sorry, I can't. But I did want to hear
Yet.
not yet. Where can they reach you on social media?
As always, it's _mixed on Threads, on Tumblr, on Instagram.
And hopefully Twitch eventually, one of these days.
Yeah.
I think
If I don't quit Marvel Rivals because they're so freaking racist.
Well, you know, there are other video games. I'm just saying. You know, we could play other games. I was trying to think of what would it be. Did they ever make a Marvel Ultimate Alliance? That was only for console.
Isn't that like for yeah, on
That's a
consoles,
console
and
only
I
thing.
don't have those.
I wonder if there's something similar to that.
Well, I do have, like, you know what? I do have Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's various Spider-Man games. So I mean, there's other things that could be done there. I personally want to play Marvel Tokon, um, even though I'm
Yeah,
terrible
but
at fighting games.
it's a fighter, right?
Yeah, there's that. I was trying to think maybe I think if there are not there. I can't think of another game that's multiplayer that has superheroes in it. Huh, I have to think about it. DC Universe Online. There you go. Maybe. Anyway, one day we'll get you on Twitch. So, either way, this has been episode 233 of the Supercast. We appreciate y'all joining us. Come back next week. We are going to be reviewing I think it's probably the first probably two or three. I think it's first two episodes of my adventures with Superman. That should be a good time. We're getting ready for a Supergirl, and I'm sure there's more news that's going to come our way, and we're going to talk about it. So until then, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.